About a month ago, maybe closer to 2 months by now, The Blaze hosted all the Republican presidential candidates in a one-on-one with Tucker Carlson. Tucker gave each candidate about 30 minutes or so, and he asked them real questions. He asked the candidates questions that actually matter. It was fascinating television, which is why the combined audience was over 80 million. Now, I didn't watch all the interviews, but I did watch the candidates that I thought were the most interesting. I thought Ron DeSantis did okay, but the more I see him in these high profile, high pressure situations, the more I get this feeling that Ron DeSantis is trying to please everyone. That strategy will end in huge embarrassing failure. To me though, the most interesting part of this ordeal was the one-on-one with Mike Pence, where the presidential campaign of Mike Pence ended in a matter of seconds. Tucker was pressing him on his continued support of Ukraine, while major cities here in America are resembling the environment that we see in the WNBA dump. Doodle all over the streets, piss on the sidewalks, major department and retail chains fleeing major cities because of the crime and looting. Tucker, he was questioning Mike Pence as to why he continues supporting Ukraine, billions to Ukraine, while major cities in America resemble a third world country. Mike Pence responded by saying, "As president, America's not my problem. That's not my primary focus." It was something to that effect. Either way, with that simple statement, the presidential campaign of Mike Pence ended. When people tune into these debates, yes, we want to be entertained, but we also want to be informed. Unfortunately, Wednesday night on Fox News, the last thing executives at Fox were worried about was pulling information from these candidates. It is abundantly clear at this point. Fox News, they are backing the DeSantis mandates for president. They want Ronnie to be the next president. The network has completely turned their back on Donnie. Orange Man bad. Which is probably why the Trumper refused to participate in this disaster of a debate. It's also why ratings for this debate Wednesday night qualified for the status of huge embarrassing failure. This past Wednesday, between 11 and 12 million people tuned into Fox News to watch this disaster unfold. Well, KC, those ratings are great. Yeah, that's what Fox wants you to believe. According to Martha McCallum, who is one of the moderators for this polished turd, we drew a whopping 12.8 million viewers. The only whopper I saw Wednesday night was in the massive mouth of Chrissy Christie, the presidential candidate with two feminine names. The candidate who seems to have this weird woke boner for the orange man. My inside sources tell me when the mugshot of the Trumper was released the other day, Chris Christie actually put down the whopper to fantasize over this mugshot. Oh, who knew the orange man would look so good in the orange jumpsuit? Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. 12 million is a good number, but when you compare that number to the ratings for past primary debates, this number is absolutely atrocious. First debate of 2015, Donnie's first debate as a presidential candidate. Fox drew 24 million viewers. Even the first Democratic debate that year, which aired on CNN, a network that no one watches, outside of Weekend with Bernie Sanders and the insufferable Hillary Clinton, most people couldn't identify any of the other candidates on stage. It was like looking at a lineup of WNBA dump divers, a bunch of bearded faces where you can't identify the names or the genders. First debate, 2015, CNN, over 15 million viewers. Yet here we have Fox News boasting about 12 million? It was one of the least watched Republican debates in recent history. Now, to be fair, Fox News is not the only one that is over-exaggerating their supposed rating success. The Orange Man is falsely claiming that over 200 million watched his one-on-one with Tucker Carlson. It was huge. More people watched me than watched the Super Bowl. It was the most watched video in the history of the internet, which I invented. Don't believe Al Gore. Al Gore didn't invent the internet. Al Gore invented global warming. Now, obviously, over 200 million people didn't watch this exclusive with Donnie. I mean, come on. There's only 330 million in the country. You expect me to believe that, what would that be, 60, maybe 70% of the country watched this entire interview? While it is true that this video was seen over 200 million times. The real truth is, close to 15 million people watched the entirety of the interview. Now, that is a great number. Hell, you dominated Fox News, so I'm struggling to understand the need to exaggerate it. Just tell me the truth. Now, the Trumper, he is catching a lot of shit from conservative media, mainly the bums at Fox News, for refusing to participate in the Republican debate. Now, I think this is ironic for a couple of reasons. Number one, you actually had someone in Milwaukee Wednesday night who was begging to participate in this garbage, and you wouldn't let him on stage. Larry Elder was threatening to sue, and they still would not allow him to participate. Which, by the way, where the hell's the woke media? Here we have a classic case of mythical racism, the evil white Republican Party holding back the victimized black man. This is a literal shit sandwich just waiting to be served, yet for some reason, the woke media is silent. They are refusing to cover the story. I wonder why. 2, there was absolutely no reason for Trump to participate in this debate. This dude's up by 40, 45, 50 points depending on the poll. He's got nothing to gain and everything to lose. And 3, and I think this is the main reason that Donnie refused to participate, Fox News has become an absolute embarrassment. Matter of fact, Fox News is teetering on the brink of becoming a huge embarrassing failure. I know some of you guys are viewers and supporters of Fox News, which that is perfectly fine, to each their own, but this network is no longer the most trusted name in news. This network is no longer the only representation of normal people in the mainstream media. Fox News hasn't fully gotten there yet, but they are getting extremely close to grade A shitfuck status. Let me give you a few examples of what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, I can't give you visual examples because Fox News is refusing to allow anyone to share clips of this debate. Why? No one knows. Now, you would think they would want these clips circulating the internet. Perhaps they have seen the negative reaction on social media and Fox News is trying to spare themselves the embarrassment. But if you were tasked with moderating this debate, you got all these presidential candidates trying to become the representative of normal people. What are some of the questions that you'd want to ask them? With the rumor swirling about the mask mandates returning, which could possibly lead to COVID lockdowns, I would want to start with that. Do you agree that lockdowns worked or didn't work? Should kids be forced to wear masks at school? Should kids be pulled out of school and back to at-home learning? I'd want to know about that. Instead, one of the first questions asked by Martha McCullum, it was, "Hey there, fellas and pretend conservative Nick Haley. There's not much diversity on this stage right now, but American really wants to know, what do you think of Oliver Anthony?" Oliver Anthony? Oliver Anthony? Really? Who fucking cares what Ron DeSantis thinks of Oliver Anthony? Another key issue right now in the country, the southern border and illegal immigration. Guess how many times Fox asked the candidates about that? While I was watching, none. But they had plenty of time to discuss UFOs. If I wanted to know about Marvin the Martian, I would contact the Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman at USA Today. "Mike, is Marv planning to invade America?" "Oh, I hope so, KC. I'm having no luck seducing Luke Skywalker. Maybe I'll have better odds at talking the pants off that sexy Martian." Another major issue right now that very few in the mainstream media are willing to talk about, it is this globalist agenda of our fearless leader John Biden, working with other woke leaders around the world to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2030. Well, KC, what is net zero emissions? Their goal is to remove all carbon emissions by the year 2030, or some claim by 2050. For example, running your air conditioner during those hot summer days, which they refer to as climate change, that is no bueno. Those emissions, they bother the inhabitants of the oak tree like Meg Rapinoe and the Sue Bird. Or maybe you just finished eating lunch at your favorite Mexican restaurant. Those carbon emissions, they are beginning to form in your stomach. You can't release those toxic fumes in the air through your boodle. No, 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 no. They must be released into a safe space, like a climate-friendly bottle or the set of The View where the yentas enjoy the aroma. Fox News, they didn't have time to address that issue with the candidates Wednesday night. Instead, they wanted to focus on abortion. Again, are we really focusing on this same damn issue again? If America was running on all cylinders, if inflation wasn't sky high, if our fearless leader had the cognizant ability to recognize shapes and colors, debate abortion all you want. But when the country is literally drowning in serious issues, abortion should be the least of your concerns. Let the states handle abortion, keep the fucking federal government out of it. There, problem solved. Now, of course, Donald Trump was a primary topic of conversation Wednesday night. At one point, and I believe this is going to be the end of Ron DeSantis, at least in this primary, but at one point, Bret the Bear, he asked the candidates if they would support Donald Trump if he won the nomination, even if he continued to be arrested and charged. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, he immediately raised his hand, as did a couple of others who were completely irrelevant and unknown, but at least they raised their hands too. Now, obviously, Chris Christie was unable to raise his hands. He had the grilled woke wiener in one hand and the stiff cucumber in the other. But here is where I think it fell apart for Ron DeSantis. Cameras caught the mantis looking around the stage, looking around, to see if any of the other candidates raised their hands. Once he saw a couple of hands raised, Ron DeSantis, he lightly raises his hand. Now, what does that tell you? What it tells me, Ron DeSantis has a complete lack of leadership. It shows me that Ron DeSantis is trying to please everyone, trying to please both sides. That is a recipe for huge, embarrassing failure. I really want to like Ron DeSantis. I really do. I think he has done great things for the state of Florida. He's shown that he can be a leader. The thing with Ron DeSantis, I just don't think he's ready. Overall, I thought this debate was an absolute disaster, which is why ratings were embarrassingly low. And to be honest with you, I just feel like Fox News has become a shitbird. The woke fungus is slowly infecting the network. I don't feel like Fox News can be fully trusted by normal people anymore. But what about you? Prove me wrong. Do you still trust Fox News? Has Fox been infected with the woke fungus? Also, what did you think of the debate Wednesday night? I thought Vivek Ramaswamy was the star. I thought he was the only one that showed true leadership. What about you? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.